Hello and welcome to Benue Television News at 9. I am Jude Alaki. For headlines, Benue State Government indicates plans to demolish structures on waterways. Senate seeks inclusion of domestic workers in proposed national minimum wage. And on the international scene, Kenyan officials raise alarm over stolen toxic chemicals. The Benue State Government has indicated plans to demolish structures built on waterways as part of efforts to mitigate the effects of flooding in the state. A joint committee on flood from the State Emergency Management Agency, BESEMA, and Ministry of Water Resources gave this indication at the weekend during an assessment tour around Makurdi to ascertain the level of destruction from the flood. Fidelia Zashaondo accompanied the team and has details of the report.
The team led by the Commissioner for Water Resources, Odo Ugu, in company of the Executive Secretary, Benue State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, James Yopu, Commissioner for Humanitarian and Disaster Management, Aondu Asikunde, and Principal Special Assistant to Governor on Delivery Team, Dene Aonduna, went round Makurdi town to see and interact with flood victims. The areas visited include Wadata, Achusa, Wurukun, Giado Villa, and Mechanic Village. After critical examination, the committee discovered that the root causes of the flooding were drainage blockages, building on waterways, and an urgent need for dredging of River Benue. The Commissioner for Water Resources, Mr. Ogu, said structures which have been built on waterway houses would have to be demolished and some drainages flushed or expanded where necessary. Mr. Ogu calls on federal government to make haste to rescue Benue people by dredging the River Benue, which is the most prominent solution to flooding in the state.
So come to our rescue because the level of siltation of River Benue is so high now, and that is one of the major reasons too that this water is finding its way into the community because of the high siltation of River Benue. So we are appealing to the state, to the federal government also to come to our rescue too in dredging of River Benue, which is very key because the level of the level of the water now is so shallow, and we need dredging as quickly as possible.
Executive Secretary SEMA, Mr. Yopu, assures that attention will be given to those places identified as needing urgent and critical attention.
We are here together with Minister of Water Resources, other MDS to assess the situation. Already we have identified those places that major places that we are going to have immediate intervention. And we are going to take that those who are affected for us to rescue. In fact, the federal government is also interested in the present situation. NEMA has been calling on us to give them the data of those who are affected. We have prepared the data today, it's just a couple. Right before Monday, we are going to forward assessment to the federal government to assist us, not just the federal.
Chairman Community Land in Wadata, Comrade Polycarp, and a resident, Kenneth Idoku from Achusa Village, told Benue Television at different locations that they affirmed the stand that the best option remained the dredging of the River Benue.
Here in Wadata, the problem we are facing about this perennial flooding, it is because of we don't have drainages. We have poor drainages. That is number one. Number two, government is not putting focus on this place we are staying because of the poor drainages. There is one big drainage at the back of where I'm staying here. Government has to construct it. That is number two. Number three, we need dredging of this River Benue.
Invert of what is there, this culvert here, and the other one is what will guide what is coming from there. Yes. Basically, that's what he's doing. That's what he's saying. Yeah. You have to collect. That culvert was not placed haphazardly. It's supposed to discharge, and then the other one by the road too. So this is supposed to link that. The first culvert would access here and discharge downwards. So everything that we're doing here will be guided by what is.
Flooding Flooding has become a perennial issue in these affected places, which have defied solutions. Residents are hopeful that the government will give a speedy response for lasting remedies. Fidelia Zashaondu, Benue Television News, Makudi.
A 5-day capacity building training workshop for staff of Benue State University Center for Food Technology and Research, CEFTA, has kicked off in Makudi. The training is organized by the African Center of Excellence on Technology, Enhanced Learning ASETEL, in partnership with CEFTA. Correspondent Nashun Dam reports.
As the world continues to shift towards digitalization, institutions, groups and individuals have continued to yearn for computer skills to enhance their productivity and efficiency. In this regard, Benue State University Center for Food Technology and Research (CEFTA), in partnership with the African Center of Excellence on Technology Enhanced Learning Monday commenced its work on sharing information technology essentials with staff of CEFTA. At the opening ceremony on Monday in Makudi, Deputy Vice Chancellor, National Open University of Nigeria, Abuja, Professor Godwin Apave, and Deputy Director Estel, Dr. Apataye Johnson, in separate speeches, emphasized the importance of the information technology training to the staff and other African youth. The partners expressed happiness at the prospect of working with CEFTA during the project.
One of the milestones we're supposed to achieve in our African Center of Excellence is impact that we make on the community. As we are mandated to encourage the use of technology in learning processes at the higher education level, we hope that this exercise will empower the participants to be able to use technology in their learning endeavors.
Participants of this particular workshop will be able to acquire that dexterity that are needful for their effective use, effective manipulation, and also to be able to repair their computer. Training will afford all the participants to be able to organize their data on the system so as for them to report factually and physically for people to actually look at.
The partners expressed happiness at the prospect of working with CEFTA during the project. Center leader CEFTA, Professor Barnabas Kyo, says the training has become necessary to fit staff of the center in the modern world. And the training done by Estel, we effectively achieve that.
As a Center of Excellence in Agriculture and Food Innovation, we are not jack of all trades. So we felt that we should call the experts to also share their experience with us by training some of our people on IT essentials. So this group of persons that are being trained today will take home a certificate from Cisco that will give them the opportunity to be employed globally. Our society is now driving digital skills because it's a big space that we feel that if our youth are trained in, they can have they can be self-employed, or employment will not just be restricted to government jobs.
Some participants, Esther Ogechi and Teso Angela, say the training is important to personal development on the job.
One thing that actually encouraged me or motivated me to participate in this program is that almost every person now knows what a computer is, and it's just something that is at our beck and call. As students, we actually use it for research purposes, and it's important that I understand the basis of a computer I use for myself, so that in case of challenges, I'll know how to fix my computer at less cost, because I'll not need to employ an expert because I'm already an expert in that area.
That's where the world is going, especially for Nigerian universities. We need to incorporate this to enhance learning. So it's timely, and it's a very essential skill at this point for each and every person to know basic things about ICT.
The African Center of Excellence on Technology Enhanced Learning focuses on electronic research and technology enhanced learning, while the Center for Food Technology and Research focuses on ways to enhance agricultural food security. The IT training ends on Friday at CEFTA premises in Makudi. Mnaishun Dam, Benue Television News, Makudi.
The Economic Community of West African States said it allocated at least $13 million to counter-terrorism efforts in frontline states and to shore up humanitarian efforts in the region. The regional bloc said it is exploring other funding options for its $2.6 billion standby force. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, who serves as chairman of ECOWAS Authority of the Heads of State and Government, reviewed these as part of a one-year report highlighting the bloc's achievements and challenges at the 6th Media Coordination Meeting of the African Union in Accra, Ghana on Sunday. He said the frontline member states in the fight against terrorism have also been supported with $4 million under the ECOWAS counter-terrorism humanitarian response. Tinubu added that ECOWAS would soon convene a special extraordinary session to discuss its future. Tinubu, who did not state the date of the meeting, said leaders would discuss ongoing talks with estranged member states Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. His comments come 2 weeks after he was re-elected for another one-year tenure as ECOWAS chairman at the 65th ordinary session of the authority held at the State House, Abuja, on July 7. After his mandate was renewed, Tinubu appointed his Senegalese and Togolese counterparts Bassirou Faye and Faure Gnassim to lead ECOWAS mediation efforts with Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. The civilian governments in Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger fell to military control in May 2021, September 2022, and July 2023. On July 6, Niger's General Abdourahmane Tiani, Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traoré, and Mali's Colonel Assimi Goïta signed the Federation Treaty, which they said would strengthen a mutual defense pact announced last September, the alliance of Sahel states. Nonetheless, the ECOWAS said it is still championing efforts towards reintegrating the sister states into the nearly 50-year-old bloc. We'll take a break. We'll bring you more stories from other parts of Nigeria when we return.
Benue Fashion Show Season 3 is here.
It's that time of the year for fashion designers, entrepreneurs, and fashion enthusiasts to shine.
This year, sale of forms for the competition begins from 15th April to 28th of July 2024.
Pick a form at Benuetv Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makudi. Form cost 3,000 Naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 28th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million Naira. Second prize, 500,000 Naira. And third prize, 300,000 Naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership, and inquiries, please call Benuetv Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794 5569.
Benue Fashion Show,
embracing fusion fashion.
Welcome. The federal government, through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA), is expecting fresh reports to confirm the real sulfur content of the diesel produced by the Dangote refinery, as the company debunked claims of inferior fuel production. The NMDPRA spokesman George Eneta told Newspen Sunday that the agency had done its job and would not engage in a media fight with anybody over the claims made by the NMDPRA chief executive Farouk Ahmed that Dangote's diesel has more sulfur content than imported one. According to NATA, the authority has about 15 engineers and scientists embedded in the Dangote refinery, whose fresh report about the refinery's sulfur content will be out on Monday. It was reported that Ahmed alleged that the diesel from the Dangote refinery contains high sulfur content. Reacting to Dangote's allegations that the NMDPRA was giving licenses to some traders to import dirty fuel into Nigeria last week, Ahmed argued that it was the Dangote fuel that had a larger content of sulfur. The NMDPRA boss warned that Nigeria could not rely heavily on the Dangote refinery for its fuel supply. A reaction during a tour of the refinery by members of the House of Representatives led by the Speaker, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, over the weekend, Dangote asserted that products refined at the world's largest single-train refinery are of superior quality compared to the imported fuel. The Speaker and all the members had observed the testing of automotive gas oil from 2 petrol stations alongside the same taken from the Dangote refinery. The chairman of the House Committee on Downstream, Eke Agunon Ugochinyere, and chairman of the House Committee on Midstream, Okojie Edienosen, oversaw the collection of samples from the mild hydrocracking unit of the Dangote refinery for testing of all the samples. The Dangote laboratory tests were said to have revealed that Dangote's diesel had a sulfur content of 87.6 ppm, while the other 2 samples showed sulfur levels exceeding 1,800 ppm and 2,000 ppm. The Senate and the National Council for Women's Society (NCWS) Monday sought the inclusion of domestic workers in the proposed payment of 70,000 naira as the national minimum wage. The Senate and NCWS made the call during a public hearing on a bill seeking an act to provide for domestication and registration of domestic workers and employers in Nigeria. The bill was sponsored by Senator Babangida Hussaini. The public hearing was organized by the Senate Committee on Employment, Labor and Productivity, chaired by Senator Dike Plang. They said all 70,000 naira is being planned to be the least wage for the lowest public worker, so should be the case for the least domestic worker. They added that it will be put in the bill for implementation by all employers. Hussaini, however, suggested that instead of domestication and protection of domestic workers and employers, the intendment of the bill should be changed to registration and protection of domestic workers and their employers. Similarly, the acting national president of NCWS, Geraldine Etuk, argued for the inclusion of domestic workers in the proposed national minimum wage law. Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS) has appointed Dr. Dike Ebubedike as a youth ambassador. Dike was also awarded the prestigious Nelson Mandela Leadership Award of Excellence and Integrity on July 10. The West African Youth Council announced the appointment in an official letter recognizing Dr. Dike's dedication, hard work, and diligence in service to humanity. The regional body praised Dr. Dike as a relentless advocate for the development of African youth and expressed optimism that his recognition by ECOWAS would further solidify his efforts. At the event, popular Nigerian comedian Owen Osawenge, known as ONG and a United Nations Youth Ambassador for Peace, stated that the Youth Council created the Leadership Award to honor youths who have distinguished themselves in various capacities and professions in West Africa. He noted that the Council awarded Dr. Dike the EYC Ambassador Leadership Award of Excellence due to his representation of young people in the health and wellness sector. In his acceptance speech, Dr. Dike expressed his gratitude and emphasized the opportunity to promote health and wellness. He highlighted the disturbing reality that many suffer from curable ailments and some die due to a lack of awareness. He described the honor as a morale booster for him and promised the ECOWAS Youth Council to be a worthy ambassador at all levels, both in the local and international community. DK Chuks Ebubedike is a health wellness enthusiast and a physical therapist with a niche for pain eradication. The police command in Kaduna State said its operatives have arrested a suspect with 30 different fabricated master keys of vehicles and motorcycles in Kaduna. The command spokesperson ASP Mansir Hassan confirmed the arrest to the newsman Monday in Kaduna. Hassan said the suspect specializes in vehicle and motorcycle theft. He said upon receiving information, operatives were immediately drafted to the area. He said that on arriving at the scene, the suspect Zaradini Suleiman was arrested in the shop. According to him, the suspect, 35, is a resident of Galma Road, Sogugi area of Sabongeri, Zaria local government area of Kaduna State. Hassan said upon search, about 30 different sizes of keys of vehicles and motorcycles were recovered, including 2 locally fabricated master keys in his possession. He added that the suspect was said to have specialized in stealing vehicles and motorcycles. Hassan said that the suspect would be charged to court for prosecution after the completion of investigation. We'll take another break. When we come back, international news is next.
Benue Fashion Show Season 3 is here.
It's that time of the year for fashion designers, entrepreneurs, and fashion enthusiasts to shine.
This year, sale of forms for the competition begins from 15th April to 28th of July 2024.
Pick a form at Benuetv Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makudi. Form cost 3,000 Naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 28th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million Naira. Second prize, 500,000 Naira. And third prize, 300,000 Naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership and inquiries, please call Benuetv Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794 5569.
Benue Fashion Show,
embracing fusion fashion.
Welcome. You're still watching Benue Television News at 9. Around 4 stories on the international scene, Kenyan officials have appealed for help to find containers of a highly toxic chemical that were looted from an overturned lorry near the capital city, Nairobi. Health officials warn that sodium cyanide is dangerous and can kill if swallowed or inhaled, even in small amounts. They added that it also poses a major risk to the environment. It is not uncommon in Kenya for trucks to be looted following a road accident. The government urged people to avoid the site, which is on the busy Nairobi-Nakuru highway, while the U.S. Embassy advised its citizens to take a detour. The accident happened about 35 kilometers, which is 22 miles from Nairobi, and caused a spillage on the tarmac. It is unclear what caused the lorry to overturn. The authorities have also not released details about the condition of the driver. The National Environmental Agency urged the public to immediately alert the nearest police station if they spot the containers. Kenya's Health Ministry said sodium cyanide can contaminate soil and groundwater. It added that the chemical can last in the environment for a long time and consequently accumulate in the food chain. According to the U.S. National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, commercial uses of sodium cyanide include fumigation, extracting gold and silver from ores, and chemical manufacturing. It is reported that while some people carted away containers of the chemical, others who came with jerrycans left without taking anything after realizing that the substance was of no use to them. Republican members of Congress are focusing on the role of the Secret Service as their frustration and anger grow over the agency's response to an attempt to assassinate presidential nominee Donald Trump. A House committee hearing will on Monday grill its director, Kimberly Shertel. It was reported that Trump sought additional security in the months leading up to the assassination attempt, but that the agency had turned them down or been unable to fulfill their requests due to staffing shortages. Agency spokesperson Anthony Guglielmi said in a statement that in some instances where specific Secret Service specialized units or resources were not provided, the agency made modifications. Eric Trump, the former president's son, said he had been calling for beefed-up security throughout the campaign as he blamed the Biden administration and Ms. Shertel on Sunday for the assassination attempt and argued there had been no accountability for the agency's actions. Senators, too, are preparing to dig in on the Secret Service. A Republican Senator Ron Johnson told newsmen Sunday that he would soon release information from his own report investigating the attack. He said the report is intended to encourage people to come forward with more footage and first-hand accounts. He added that his investigation was now bipartisan and would be conducted with Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat from Connecticut. Lawmakers revealed that the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General is also looking at the attack, which occurred after the Secret Service identified the gunman as suspicious some 20 minutes before he opened fire. Russia said Monday that its forces had downed 35 Ukrainian drones overnight, with nearly 50 destroyed over the southern Rostov region. The Defense Ministry said air defense systems intercepted 47 drones over Rostov, 17 over the Black and Azov Seas, and 11 in other areas, including one over the frontier region of Belgorod. Regional authorities in the Black Sea town of Topsy in the Krasnodar region said debris from a downed drone sparked a fire in a petrol refinery. There were no casualties, according to initial information. Russia almost daily announces the interception of Ukrainian drones, which Kyiv says are a response to Russian attacks aimed at military and civilian targets since Moscow launched its special military operation in February 2022. That's about the size of our package. The top stories just before we go. The Benue state government has indicated plans to demolish structures on waterways. The Senate sought inclusion of domestic workers in proposed national minimum wage. And on the international scene, we told you that Kenyan officials raised alarm over stolen toxic chemicals. Many thanks for your attention. On behalf of the production team, my name is Jude Alaki, wishing you a beautiful Tuesday.